So here we are again. It's the gang is back, the gang of four, in our review of the films of the year for 2025. I'm Bob Mann. I run the movie site One Man's Movies. With me is the Reverend Andy Godfrey. Andy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, guys. I review films on Pier 247 Radio, several other Christian radio stations, and I'm the author of a book called Confessions of a Christian Film Critic.
Getting his
Still
plug in.
available on Amazon.
This is not the BBC. It's a very good book. Buy it on Amazon. And Scott Forbes, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Scott Forbes, and you can find my written reviews on Facebook at the Forbes Film and TV Review.
And last but not least, it's Emma Sewell.
Hello. Yes, so last year I took a very big leave of social media. It was delightful, but this year I'm back with a vengeance. Emma@themovies.com and probably Twitter and Facebook, things like that, very shortly again.
Okay, that's great. We haven't done one of these Flickering Dreams podcasts for quite a while. In fact, I think it was probably our review of the Oscars back in April of last year. The good news is we are going to try and resurrect this podcast on a monthly basis. So sometime around the beginning of the month, subject to schedules, we will be doing a best and worst of the month. So look out for that coming up in the near future. But say what we're doing on this podcast is we are looking at the best and the worst of 2025. And we're going to start off with our 2025 slots. This is our combined list for the 2025 films. What we did here is we each ranked the films from 20 to 1, or 1 to 20 if you like. And the top film that we ranked received 20 points, the next 19, etc., down to 1 point. Now, as is the diversity of this thing and the subjectivity of movies, we ranked a total of 60 different films that all received votes between the five of us. Dan Cook is also included in these numbers. He ranked his top 10 films, and I included those. Unfortunately, Dan's not able to join us on the podcast this morning, but his votes are in here as well. And only one film received votes from all of us. So that just shows how diverse
Really?
opinions
Wow.
are. Yeah. So let's have a look then at the top, the 20 to 11 positions. We have two films at joint 19. I think this is going to upset Andy because he really liked Hallow Road. He was the only person who actually ranked it in his top 20. I thought it was very good. In fact, in general,
yeah,
this has
it was
been
close on mine too.
Yeah, it's been a really fantastic year for innovative horror, and I think that's very much reflected in our top 20 this year, because the other film, which also just missed out on my top 20 as well, was Bring Her Back, which is the Philippidou brothers follow-up to that film with the hand. What was it called?
Was it?
Talk to Me from last year.
Talk.
And then another really gritty and quite disturbing horror film in Bring Her Back.
Did you say that Hallow Road is one of those films that does reward subsequent viewings?
Yeah.
Because there are little clips, little secrets, little giveaways, little tells. Sometimes in the sat-nav, in the car that these two characters are in, there are all sorts of little things going on. And I do think it does reward subsequent viewings.
Okay. I've only seen it once at the cinema, so I will probably try and do that. Moving on, we have two films as well at number 17, which is Eternity, which got 2 votes. That was Andy and Emma, and Nuremberg. Both of those films actually from this month released in the UK, I believe. Maybe Eternity was the back end of November. But yeah, again, both good films. Eternity, again, is probably deserves another watch because it's one of those films like Peggy Sue Got Married and Back to the Future, which has got a nice feel to it. It actually made me scurry for the streaming guide to see if I could find Heaven Can Wait, the Warren Beatty film from 1970 8 or 9, which was one of my favourites when I was a mere lad, and it reminded me a lot of Eternity. Moving on, at number 16, we have The Long Walk, which was championed by Scott and Emma, based on a Stephen King novel, of course. Again, a very good film. Wasn't completely convinced by the ending, I have to say. But in terms of being a gritty film to watch, it certainly packed its punches. Any comments on that, guys?
I think for me, that was really a thinker film where I enjoyed it while I was watching it, but it was afterwards, in the days after, it just kept coming back to me. I kept thinking about various scenes, various conversations that were happening, and I do sort of a rough ranking list throughout the year, and I'm regularly updating that, moving things up and down. And this is one that I really liked it, but as I've been doing my ranking list, I've been moving it up as I've been changing it, because it's one that's stuck with me so much, with the symbolism, the sort of, I don't know, is it dystopian? Kind of a little bit dystopian setting. And yeah, the 2 lead performances, which are probably not going to get awards attention, really should be.
Yeah.
I shouldn't ever let Scott talk before I talk, because all I'm going to say is I spent a lot of time thinking about if I was in it, I would die.
Yes.
I'm with you, Bob. I thought the ending was a bit of a, and I also thought, I mean, I wish I hadn't seen the trailer.
Yes.
It was one of those that I wish I hadn't seen the trailer of.
It's one of those trailers that I actually realised that if you watch the trailer, it was going to be bad. So I shut my eyes every time at the cinema.
Yeah, absolutely.
On.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
No. So moving on to number 14, in fact, we got joint films at number 14. Scott's probably going to be upset that he was the only person who in the team who really liked Avatar, Fire and Ash. I mean, I went into this, it's the same for every one of the Avatar movies. I go into the film thinking, I'm really not looking forward to this. I'm really not going to enjoy this. But actually, when you get there on the big screen with the big sound and the wonderful graphics, I did end up enjoying this film. Not enough to really rank it up there, but I thought it was pretty good.
I thought you were going to be with me on this one.
I still haven't seen the second one. Like, when it came out, I went, because they obviously re-released the first one, I went to see that, and I got to the end, I was like, I just don't care enough to go to the next one. I mean, it's on Disney Plus, and I still can't be bothered to watch it.
The point is that, Emma, if you've seen the first one, you've seen all 3. So,
yep.
Basically.
That's just not true, Andy. There are differences. The second one's got that beauty side of it, this sort of underwater.
Yeah, but it's the
tranquil
same
meditation.
plot. It's the same old thing over and over again, Scott.
Third
Let's
one.
take over Pandora, because we're humans and we're nasty and we want this planet for our own, and we don't care about the local Navi people.
Such good action scenes in this one as well. The actual acting quality across the board was of the best of all the 3. Because they're in mocap or motion performance, whatever they call it these days, they're not going to get any sort of awards attention. But the likes of Zoe Saldana, Una Chaplin, those 2 in particular were such strong female characters with emotional arcs, both of them. But because they're in blue mocap suits, no one really cares about the acting.
I would agree about Una
No
Chapman.
one really cares.
I would agree about Una Chapman. I thought that was a terrific performance. I thought she made
Absolutely
a fantastic
psychotic,
villain.
amazing.
Really good. I want to know what's happened with Unobtainium. This was the most important thing in the whole universe in the first film, and now it's
now we've got the sort of blood orange stuff from the whales.
Whale juice.
Can I just tell you that the screening I went to, I was the only person in the screening. And to keep myself awake, I changed seats every half an hour, which caused great problems for the Cineworld girl coming in to check I wasn't using my mobile every half an hour. She was looking all around thinking, where is he? I'm over here. I'm over here. It was like spot the audience for her.
So yeah, as you might tell from that score, this was Scott's number 1 film of the year. He gave it the full 20 points. And indeed, the joint number 14 was Dan's number 1 film of the year, which is Nosferatu. Andy, you say a little prayer. Of course, Andy never saw Nosferatu because it's a vampire film, and Andy does not go and see vampire films. Not even Love at First Bite, probably, when that came out.
No. And it's nothing to do with religious convictions or anything like that. It's just I cannot handle vampires and sucking blood and
Sucking blood. I want to drink your blood. But Nosferatu...
No, you don't, Bob.
Nosferatu, I think, was I think it was a brilliant film to look at, I have to say. I think the cinematography was absolutely fantastic. Was this eligible for Oscars last year? I think it was, wasn't it? So I don't think it's... I think it came out very early in the year. I think it was one of the last year's Oscar films. I can't remember if it got nominated for cinematography or not, but it certainly should have done. Number 13 is One Battle After Another. I didn't actually include this in my top 20, as I see you didn't either, Emma. And I thought I was going to get some flack online for that. A lot of people...
I still haven't seen it.
Okay, well, that's a good excuse for not putting it in your top 20, isn't it? But and I thought it was great. I went for a fairly late night screening. It was one of those films I saw during the London Film Festival, so I'd seen like 3 films already that day, and it was a late evening performance, so I perhaps wasn't in the most receptive mood for it. Very good film, I have to say, and it keeps being touted, including by those guys Commode and Mayo, as being like the film of the year or one of the films of the year. And it may get a lot of Oscar attention. It's probably one I need to give another go at in terms of watching that one. Number 12, we have Begonia. And again, very much a Marmite movie, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Myself and Andy went for that. I think I made this this was my number 2 film of the year. Absolutely loved it when I saw it at the London Film Festival, so much so that I went to see it again at the cinema, which is quite unusual for me to see a film twice. I thought Emma Stone's performance was fantastic, but Jesse Plemons, for me, was one of the male performances of the year, and I would be very unhappy if he isn't at least nominated for an Oscar, and I wouldn't be disappointed if he won the Oscar for Begonia. I thought it was a terrific performance. And the ending, which was very divisive, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was a wonderful film.
Yeah, I thought the ending was brilliant because whilst I did see it coming, I didn't think they're not going to do that. And then they did do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things you think they're not going to do this. Surely they're not going to do this. And then they do it. And you kind of go, wow, they did it.
Wow, they did it. They went there. Yeah. I thought that was terrific. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and our number 11 film on the list is A House of Dynamite, which again is quite a divisive film. I've seen a lot of comment from a lot of disgruntled people on social media saying it's just the same 18 minutes over and over again. Yeah, that's kind of the point. I thought it was very cleverly done. I think it was a very interesting film, and to see the different perspectives from different viewpoints brought out time and time again with the kind of twists that happen, which you only hear happening in the first episode, as it were. I thought it was very clever. But that got votes only from Andy and Dan. Again, it was probably in my top 30 films that I saw last year. It was very good. So
we should say stay for the end credits of House of Dynamite. Just listen to the end credits.
Yes.
It's quite telling.
Well, I heard that.
I thought so.
I wasn't convinced about that. I know the subtitles say that.
Yeah.
I had to watch it again with the subtitles to see what people were talking about, to be honest. Okay, so that's our combined 22 11 stops. Let's now look and see what our top 10 were, starting with number 10.
Oh, he's back. That's the 4th fucking time he's done that.
So you're peeking or probing?
Speaking with serious intent to probe.
Alpha 2, we might have guys starting to move on our position.
Copy, we're getting a buildup of activity here too.
Yeah, I definitely see weapons at this point.
Yeah, we have definite massing.
So this is Warfare, with directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, and Ray Mendoza was actually one of those Marines that you saw in that reenactment of a skirmish, in a pretty bloody skirmish in Iraq during the Iraq War. This was myself and Andy who voted for Warfare. I mean, it's a curious film. Did you get to see this, Emma and Scott?
I didn't.
Okay. Scott?
Yes. I did see this film, and you know that I saw this film, Bob, for reasons that will become clear later. Yes, I appreciated that it was a great cast, and it's based on a true story. I usually really like based on a true story films, but I'm going to use that horrible word that people don't like film reviewers using. I was bored. I was just finding the whole thing so slow, so monotonous. Just a bunch of guys in this room. Not much actually happens, to be honest, in my personal opinion, throughout this film. I know, but it was just my opinion.
I'm not praying hard enough. I'm not praying hard enough.
Sorry, it was too slow for me, this one, and I just don't think there was enough. I just don't think there was enough there.
Action.
I mean, you say non-stop action, Andy, but to be honest,
Almost.
for the first 40 minutes, it's all
Yeah, but that's
build-up and tension, isn't
point.
it? Well,
that's the point. That's the build-up and the tension for what is to come.
Yes.
It was a very personal film for me. I have a friend who serves in the army and was shot by a sniper in Afghanistan. And thank God he survived. And it felt very, very personal for me. But I just thought the build-up of tension, and when the action came, it was explosive and, as Bob says, quite gory. It just felt very realistic.
Yeah, I think it was a very visceral film.
Yeah.
That, and my fear is, if anybody's watching this, does anybody watch this? If anybody's watching this and thinks, "Oh, they're recommending this film, I better watch it," my fear is if you saw it on a little telly without a decent cinema sound system, you'd think, "Oh, what is this?" But I think one of the great things about this film is the sound design. That every time, I saw somewhere on the internet, someone was describing how unrealistic films were when somebody shoots a gun in a room in a film, and somebody who's actually experienced a proper gunshot in an enclosed room said it actually almost makes your eardrums bleed, and the impact of that noise. But the sound design in Warfare really managed to resonate, and the whole cinema shook. I think it was an absolutely brilliant use of bass in the sound design in that film. Okay, so it's a bit split, that one, but that's where we ended up. So let's go to our number 9 film, and this is quite an interesting one, I have to say.
Grandma, what's happening to us?
Years ago, I had a premonition that started it all. I saw what death was about to do. I saved a lot of lives that night.
Everyone needs to get off the dance floor!
Lives that were never meant to be saved. But death doesn't like it when you mess with his plans.
So that was an unusual one for a top 10, I have to say. Final Destination, Bloodlines. And I've got quite a lot of sympathy for this being in the top 10. I have to say, this is one of those films which I would class as a guilty pleasure. I just recently been on a trip to New Zealand, and of all of the films that British Airways could offer me, this was one I sat and watched again. Because it is astoundingly fun, as most of the Final Destination films, I have to say, are. But I thought this was quite a clever concept, starting at the beginning with that kind of flashback to the 60s, which I thought was very nicely done from a production design point of view. It was very clever. I mean, the whole concept of death picking off people according to what order they died in, going through the different sequences of generations, was absolutely ridiculous. Made no sense whatsoever. But when the incidents happen. I thought they were very good. And I thought it had a really killer ending as well. I think this was voted for by Scott and Emma. Comments, guys?
Yeah, as you said, it's a guilty pleasure type of film, but I think of the Final Destination films, this might be the best in quality, perhaps. As you said, that opening scene was beautiful to look at, and just the clever way that they take the coin and also make us want to root for the death of someone that you maybe wouldn't in a normal movie was excellent. And yeah, I think I followed it quite easily enough with the Bloodline thing, and I thought it was really clever the way they kept it going right through to the end and linked the film to previous installments. Yeah, some of those deaths are going to be iconic. The MRI scanner in particular is the one that I think most people remember. I think the tattoo parlor. It was just super fun for me, this one.
Yes, it was good. That tattoo parlor thing that they showed in the trailer was one of those that you think, oh no.
And I did love the twist that came out of that as well.
Yes.
I thought that was quite a fun little thing to do.
Yes.
And I do love how they brought it around and go, this is where these characters actually came from. And heartbreaking at the end, but
I kind of enjoyed it while it was on, but forgot about it instantly the moment I left the cinema. It didn't even make my top 20, I'll be honest. I love the Final Destination films. So,
yeah,
for me, I wonder if they're starting to lose their originality. They felt very original when they first came out, and it was an original concept and so on. But
I thought this was a nice twist to add to it that gave some originality.
Out of all of those sorts of films that have come back around, I think this is actually my favourite sort of reimagining of it. Like, yes, I enjoy all the Scream ones, but I'm not a particular fan of the most recent ones. And I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I thought that made my worst 10 list, as you'll see a bit later. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I thought it was utterly pointless.
I'd mention as well for Tony Todd in his last movie role in that as well. Yeah. That was quite emotional seeing him.
Yeah.
He looked so different, and it was,
Yeah.
Very sad.
Okay, let's move on to our joint number 8 film.
Hey, Benji, I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already. God, you made it.
What's up, cuz? I got some good shit from when we land.
Wait, you're not, like, taking weed into Poland, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Benji?
They don't give a shit about that stuff, man.
I think they very much do give a shit about that.
Yeah. Davers and I are cousins. We used to be joined at the hip. Our grandma was from here, so Dave arranged for us to join this geriatric Polish tour with you fine people.
So, that is a film from very early in the year. It was one of the Oscar darlings from last year. It's A Real Pain with Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg, and directed by Jesse Eisenberg, indeed. That was voted for by myself and Dan. We're still only on the 2 people agreeing on these films, by the way, in the top 10. I thought this was a terrific comedy drama, more comedy than drama, I have to say. I mean, a criticism here is that this was basically Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg almost feeling like they're playing themselves in the film. But I think that's why it worked so well as a sort of updating of The Odd Couple. If you remember that, Jack Lemmon and who is it? Jack Lemmon and
you are dating some of us, Bob. The other guy,
Walter Matthau.
Him.
Yes, Walter Matthau.
Yes.
That's what you said, Scott. Yeah, sorry. So it's almost like a remake of that, of these 2 completely odd adversarial cousins who come together to celebrate their grandmother's death, as it were, by going back to Poland to visit their her. And it really takes something for a film like that to include a visit to a real life concentration camp and still be classed a comedy, because that sequence in the concentration camp and the aftermath of that, I think, was just beautifully handled and really very moving indeed as a sequence of film. I said in my review that thankfully the Farrelly brothers haven't remade that film, because that could be a very different film indeed. But that's a real pain, which we have in our number 8 slot. Here comes our number 7 slot, and we are still, just 2 of us agreeing on this one.
The world, Chuck. Everything you've ever loved. Everything you see. Every year that you live, that world will get bigger and brighter.
This is the Life of Chuck, Mike Flanagan's film. Again, somewhat divisive. I saw a guy from Variety magazine name this his worst film of the year, which was bonkers to me. I thought Life of Chuck was a wonderful fantasy drama, cleverly done, but I say quite divisive. The illustrious Mrs. Mann went to see this with me to the cinema after I raved about it, and she was left, found the dance sequence to the drum music a bit dull and overlong and boring, and so takes all sorts, you see. Andy, you voted for this as well.
My number 1 of the year, because I just thought it was so enjoyable. It was life-affirming, terrific performance by Tom Hiddleston, plus the little boy who plays the young Chuck is absolutely sensational. I watched it recently on Blu-ray with the director's commentary, and there are things in each of the 3 acts of the film that overlap, little details that turn out to be important to the plot. I would recommend watching it with the director's commentary. To me, it was just a joyful, life-affirming film that I've actually used when preaching to say, look, everybody we meet, we touch their lives. How are we affecting the lives of other people that we meet? And I just thought it had a terrific message. I just thought it was a joy from start to finish, and I just thought it was the best film of the year.
Yeah. It's one of those films, I think, a bit like Field of Dreams, that I feel I could put on for years to come and just think, I just want to get a warm hug from a movie, and this is
Exactly.
it. The opening scene, which is, if you like, the final scene, if you see the film, you'll understand it, because it's kind of in reverse order. But the opening chapter of the film, there's a final scene where Chiwetel Ejiofor and Karen Gillan are sat in deck chairs watching the sky, and the build-up to that scene, featuring Tom Hiddleston in a way, but the build-up to that scene and the resolution of that scene gave me goosebumps. It was almost my number 1 movie moment of the year. It wasn't. There was another one that just beat it, which we'll come to. But I thought that opening chapter was just fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Yeah.
I was just going to say, because I don't think the other one's going to appear higher in this list, what a good year it's been for Stephen King adaptations.
Oh, yeah.
With The Long Walk, Life of Chuck, and Running Man. I assume it's not going to be in the top 10, yeah.
Running Man is not going to make the top.
No.
I am outraged.
Sorry, Emma.
Outraged, I tell you. My number 4.
Running Man Running Man got 17 points from Emma alone.
Oh, so close.
I'm afraid it's down the list somewhere with that score.
It was a good film. I did enjoy it, Emma, but not as good as The Long Walk and Life of Chuck.
My problem with Running Man was the ending, Emma. It just happened too quickly.
Yeah, I wasn't keen on the ending. Life of Chuck is at number 7 on my list. I'm just looking at the scores again. It got exactly the same points as the next 2 films, but there was only 2 of us that voted for it. And the next 2 films on the list, I have made joint 5th place because 3 of us have voted for them. So here's the first one of those at joint number 5.
I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
Buck, you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it.
So that is Thunderbolts, asterisk, at our joint number 5, getting 38 points. And that was voted for by myself, Scott, and Emma. All gave that
I'm
one
so
point.
proud of you both. So proud of you both.
I think, to be honest, after the terrible Captain America Brave New World, it was just a relief that Marvel actually gave it actually produced something decent.
I will say that when it came to doing my top 20, Captain America was in there. I really enjoyed both of them. I thought this was actually a really good comeback for Marvel. I was so disconnected from everything after Endgame, and yeah, this last lot just brought me right back into it.
Unfortunately, Brave New World was in one of my lists, but not this one. I thought this was a really terrific film. I think Florence Pugh was brilliant in that role. She actually did step off the edge of that skyscraper, which takes some balls, doesn't it? You always think these things are going to be special effects, but she actually did. I mean, clearly she was on the wire, but to actually be an actress and have faith in the team to actually step off the side of a huge skyscraper like that with someone else. But I thought that the story was good. I thought the build up of the characters was really good. It was just thoroughly enjoyable popcorn Marvel film, I thought.
I was quite impressed. They actually managed to make me like what's his face, fake Captain America. Can't remember his name. John Walker.
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely hated him when I watched the TV series, and actually put me right back around. So I was quite impressed.
It was one of those films where I think everyone was surprised because it was the Marvel film that was coming up that we were all like, what is this? A bunch of side characters are going to get their own movie. But I tell you, for a bunch of side characters, they have become main players in my head for going forward. I really want to see more of them. I think Yelena probably will see more anyway. But although we don't really talk about him anymore, perhaps a bit harshly, we don't know all the story, but David Harbour, for me, was hilarious in this movie. Just actually, I've got him as one of my favourite supporting actors of the year for this film because he made me laugh so much.
It nicely balanced the action and the comedy, I think, this one.
Yeah. Like, for a film that, I don't know if I won't say what it's about, but I'll say thematically what this film is actually about. The way they cleverly made a superhero film, but also an important theme about mental health. I was very shocked that it landed so well. And just the symbolism, the darkness, the way they use it, I'm just very surprised. And I cannot wait to see, the director's names went out of my head again, but Marvel are now letting him do the X-Men film off the back of how well he did with Thunderbolts. And given that Thunderbolts didn't actually make as much money as they expected, probably because, as we said, it's a bunch of side characters, people thought they can maybe skip it. I just think it's maybe the biggest surprise of the year. I'm trying to think of the rest of my list, but if not, it's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Okay. So that was at joint number 5. Here's the other film at joint number 5.
Talk me through the day.
Starts with volleyball, then there's boxing.
Good. It's America versus Cuba.
Sure you want to bring in the politics?
It's not about politics. It's about emotions.
And we're clear. Great job, everyone.
Do you hear that?
Were those gunshots?
So this is September 5th. This got voted for by 3 of us, myself, Andy, and Dan. This came out beginning of the year. I'm thinking March, April sort of time frame. It is, of course, another film about the Munich massacre of the Israeli team at the summer 1972 Olympics in Munich. This was filmed, obviously, by Steven Spielberg as the film Munich previously. This film was quite nicely different in taking the perspective from the ABC sports team who were covering the Olympics. suddenly being thrust into the biggest news story of the year and struggling with all of the things about what they could show on TV, what they could show live, the dangers of live broadcasting at a time when live broadcasting of things was pretty innovative and new. So I thought it was a really interesting film from that point of view. I think the script was fantastic as well. You voted for this one as well, Andy?
Yeah, I just thought it was absolutely gripping. As you say, Bob, it's a nice companion piece to Spielberg's film. And I just thought that the way it confronted the dilemma of this sports team having to report a news event, there's a moment where they talk about, oh, we'll fly in the experts who are from America. And the guys say, no, we're here on the ground, Pete's sake. We're covering it right here and now. And their determination to get the truth out to the world of what was happening. And I just thought it was absolutely great. I think it's done in real time, if I remember rightly.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I just thought it was, for me, it was probably the most gripping film of the year in that it just held your attention. And although it's a true story, I was 10 years old at the time. I vaguely remember something about it. But I just thought the dilemma that these guys face, we are sports people and we're not used to covering terrorist attacks, but they covered it. They got the message out there. And I honestly, terrific performance. Again, a film that felt really realistic to me.
Yes.
So, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, thought it was very good. So that's those are our joint number fives. In fact, our number fives and number 7 both got 38 points, and three of us voting for that. We got a big leap up now in the scores. I don't think there will be any arguments about our number 4. We go from 38 up to 53 points, with 3 of us voting for this film.
Johnny D. It's called Tourette syndrome. I say things that I shouldn't. What can you do? Do you want to come in for something to eat, John? Oh, fuck off, you wanker.
Well, it's nice to meet you too.
Sorry.
If you do anything here that you can't help, you never apologise.
Tommy, this is John. He's come to have a chat about the vacant position.
Right, I'll give you a rundown of the place.
Give me a cock in my hand. Sakes.
This is, of course, I Swear. I'm not sure whether this has been actually shown outside of the UK, so any watchers of this podcast might be a little bit baffled by this film. But I don't think I've met anybody who's seen this that didn't really enjoy it. I think it was a it was a really special film, I think, in allowing people to kind of see and understand what having a mental condition like Tourette's syndrome actually means. And I think I found it's changed my perspective when I see mental illness on the streets that I shouldn't do, but you almost want to kind of cross across the street and avoid it. Whereas actually understanding it, that these people are living terrible lives with the affliction that the mental illness has caused them. And I think this film absolutely did a brilliant job of conveying that to the general public in a really, really entertaining and pointed way. I mean, it's a film of really high highs and really low lows, but you come out of it feeling very much life affirmed. That got voted for by myself, Andy, and Scott. Emma, did you see I Swear?
No, so it clashed. It came out whilst we were at the film festival, and it is like top of my list to catch up on.
Yeah, that's right. That if you'd seen that and voted for it, it might have actually sent it into, it might have been our number 1 film of the year, actually, with another vote. Andy, Scott, any comments?
I think for me, it was one of only 2 films I gave 10 out of 10 to in 2025. I figured even from seeing the first trailer, it was going to be a film that I was probably going to like. And thankfully, it did live up to expectations because it had that mix. Yes, it's talking about a serious subject, and there are a lot of moments of pathos throughout, but it's full of comedy from start to finish. I mean, literally from start. There's a scene in the palace, like to kick the film off, that you're just like, yeah, this is exactly what this film's going to be. Love it. And then it kicks back to the childhood when it's devastating to watch. Like, I was on the verge of getting emotional with some of those early scenes, and then you see him as a grown-up, how life's affected him. And yeah, just one scene after the other, just mixing the difficulties with the humor. And yeah, it really hit hard. And it's based on a true story as well, which I said I love.
Indeed.
Again, we have to say terrific performances by both actors who played the same character, the child actor and the adult. And I just think it moved me beyond belief. I mean, as a minister, I have encountered people who've got Tourette's, but having seen that film, it would change the way I approach them as well. And we I don't know, I can't remember if you were there, Bob, but we were at the Mark Commode show where Maxine Peake was being interviewed, and I got to have a chat to Maxine Peake afterwards, and I told her what an important film it is. And Simon Brew of Film Stories said that this is a film that might actually change your life. And I agree. I just thought it was an important film because, like you say, it brings home to the public. There's one scene that really moved me, and I don't remember. It's where, as a youngster, he gets arrested for using foul and abusive language in the street, and then years later, the policeman who arrested him comes and apologizes and says, "I didn't know, I didn't realize." Yeah, and that just sums it up beautifully. And I just thought it was funny. It was moving. I was in floods of tears at the end. Really, really, yeah, brilliant film.
Yep. Quite agree. Yeah. Okay. So we are on to our top 3, and just sneaking, I swear, out of the top 3 is this one, which was my film of the year this year.
You made it, okay?
Is there not like a harbour?
It's sort of nature's harbour.
Welcome to Wallace Island.
No.
Do you sell rice? My phone got wet.
We've got pasta.
Has to be rice, apparently. Oh, you've got rice pudding, look.
Rice pudding definitely won't work.
Well, not with that attitude. No, it won't.
The great Herb Maguire.
Coming all the way out here without your roadies. Which brings me to the thorny issue of payment.
This is my favourite film of the year. It is The Ballad of Wallace Island. This got voted for by all of us apart from Dan, who I'm not sure whether Dan has actually seen it. I absolutely love this film. It tells the story of a guy living on his own island for reasons which we won't spoil, called Charles. And Charles is a bit of an odd bod. He's an uber fan of the band Maguire Mortimer. I got a Maguire Mortimer t-shirt for my Christmas present, which I should be wearing, really. Charles basically hires them individually to come to the island for his own personal concert. And the whole film, I thought, was just beautifully written. It's actually written based on a short film of a similar name, which I understand is on the Blu-ray release, which means it's a Blu-ray I am going to be buying, and just so I can watch that short film. I don't know whether it's on YouTube, actually. It might be on YouTube as well already. But I thought this was brilliant. It was very funny. I thought the Charlesisms that Tim Key comes out with were great. I thought the songs written by Tom Basden himself were really good. I thought Carey Mulligan played a perfect performance, kind of almost diluting the tension between the two of them as she arrives with her new husband. I thought it was immaculate. Then I mentioned earlier the Life of Chuck moment in the deck chairs as being nearly my favourite moment of the year. My favourite moment of the year is a scene in this film where Tim Key is sat at the kitchen table and Tom Basden's character goes and gets his guitar and starts playing the songs with Nell, and the look on Tim Key's face. I would give Tim Key an honorary acting Oscar just for that one moment. I thought it was just beautiful. We all like that. Any other comments on The Ballad of Wallace Island?
No, I mean, it's just so heartwarming. I genuinely, like, seeing the trailer, I didn't think it was going to be a me film, and I was hooked the whole way. Yeah, it was lovely.
Echo that. Just very wholesome movie. Again, you think Tim Key, it's not like he's a big name actor. I only really know him from his season on Taskmaster. But yeah, turned out he was really good. He was funny. And then the actual actors, they played the roles perfectly.
And it smashed the 6 laugh test. I mean, it just...
Absolutely.
Wallowed it. Yeah.
That comment about rice pudding is
It's
great.
brilliant.
Not with that attitude. Right, we are on to our top two. And we still have a film that not all of us have agreed on, but this is at our number two.
I've been all over this world. I seen men die in ways I ain't even know was possible. Love you, brother. Be careful. I will.
So this is Sinners, and there's
I guess
obviously
you
a good
didn't see
reason
this
why
one.
the Reverend Andy hasn't seen this film. Otherwise, this would have been if we'd all actually seen
Apologies.
these films, this could have been a very interesting tussle at the top of the charts, because Sinners was enjoyed by all of us except for Andy, and
Well, I didn't see it, so
you didn't see it. So wonderful performance by Michael B. Jordan, playing the dual roles of Smoke and Stack. Really curious film, because you don't know where it's going until really the second half, where it takes a very, very different turn. But Ryan Coogler brilliantly directs it. There's a thumping jazz beat to the film, which really gives it huge amounts of energy. And I actually had it right down in my list, actually. And to be honest, it would have dropped out if I'd remembered that The Assessment came out last year. Otherwise, I would probably put that in my top 10, and Sinners would have dropped out of my listing. But so the real lovers of this film are Scott and Emma. So do you want to support this?
I had it so high, and it's, I think, one of only two films I've watched twice this year. I think the advertising perhaps didn't help some people who, I think it's better to find out that twist when you're in the movie, for obvious reasons Andy found out before. But it's the first half, yeah, it takes its time. And as you guys know, sometimes I lose a bit of patience with slow films, but even though with this first half being slower, I didn't mind it in this case, because I was really intrigued by the characters. Michael B. Jordan, who frankly for me is Oscar worthy for this, was excellent in both identical twin roles. I think this film, the key thing about it, and some people are calling it a musical, it's not a musical, but it is heavily based around music and how music links people, links time, links cultures. And there's this, in particular, one scene where it's shot as a oneer and it flips through different time periods, and it's absolutely extraordinary. And you were talking about scenes of the year. I've not really thought of a list, but that would definitely be up there for me.
Yeah.
And then you add in, I think his name's Miles Caden, who is the young man in this film that comes along for the ride. What an extraordinary find he is. Amazing voice. And story that I heard about as well, there's a scene when they're driving in a car with Michael B. Jordan, and he starts playing guitar and singing along. Apparently, before they filmed this movie, he'd never had any experience in playing a guitar. He learnt guitar within a few weeks for this film, and then he was playing like that, like he was an expert for years. That kid is someone to look out for, I think, in the future, for sure, if he carries on with acting. And then, yeah, as it moves into the second half, it's bloody, gory, action-packed, heavy, amazing score to go along with it. I'm avoiding using the word of where it is in case there is anyone that hasn't seen it yet. But the twist that comes really made it for me. And it has that emotional arc as well between Michael B. Jordan and, well, one of his characters, the ex sort of partner, that culminates towards the end. I think in another year, this could easily have been my number one. I think I had it at 4 or 5, something like that. But yeah, it's amazing for me. One of the best.
Indeed, yeah. I can't remember his name, actually. I was just looking him up on IMDb. Jack O'Connell, of course, was absolutely fantastic playing a creepy character in this film. One of 2 really creepy characters he's played during the year, thinking of 28 years later. And yeah, brilliant acting job. Okay. Sorry, Emma.
No, I was just going to say, like, obviously all the eloquent things Scott said. Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. But visually, I just enjoyed the entire film. Like, just the tone of everything, the costumes, and just, like say, all the action that came towards the end. It was so well done. I'm just really pleased that I pinned this at number 2 and it's at number 2.
Yeah,
So
there you go. There you go. It works. Okay, so here's our number 1 film collectively for the year.
Would this be?
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
So that is our number 1 film for the year. It's Weapons. And glory be, all of us voted for that film. It is the one film that we all gave points to, including Dan. I mean, we said it's a great year for horror. There's lots of great horror that we didn't include on our lists here. I'm thinking of Bring Her Back, Together,
Conjuring Last Rites.
Lots of great horror films. The Monkey, which I think you gave points to, Emma. Did you not? Or was that on your worst list? Oh, no, that wasn't. I enjoyed The Monkey. Clown in a Cornfield. Who wouldn't love Clown in a Cornfield? It did exactly what it says on the can.
It was rubbish.
It was rubbish, yeah, but it was great rubbish. So Weapons is our number 1. Who wants to lead off on Weapons?
Atmospheric, chilling, gripping, surprising, all of those and more.
Yeah. Scott?
I mean, it was lower down in my top 20, but I did have it in there. Amy Madison, maybe an Oscars on her way, if not a definite nomination. Don't want to say much about her character, though, for spoilers, but she was extraordinary.
She was absolutely... You couldn't take your eyes off her, could you?
No.
Brilliant. Emma?
Yeah, I mean, this is one I will watch again and again. Everything about it, and I just loved the transformations that the characters went through. I'm reluctant to do any spoilers, but
yes, let's not spoil it. This is a film that really is worth seeing cold.
Yeah.
And so many clever little bits in it, like the gun over the house, and it's the 217 time relating to the bill about gun control in the States, and all that. There's kind of different levels of potential interpretation of some of the film. I thought it was very good. Yeah,
it was one as well where if something doesn't grip me at the beginning, my brain will be going, I wonder what's going to happen. Like who actually just try to work out the ending before I get there. And I was so caught up in this one that, like, when it came, to the final scenes, I still don't think I'd like fully thought it through. Like I'd literally just got there when the film got me there. Yeah,
there was no way to predict what was coming, and with so many horror films, and also the trailer was great because the trailer did not give away the jump scares moments. It didn't give away the big reveal. The trailer was superb and really enticing, really made you want to see it. And there was nothing about this that was predictable in my mind. It just did not play out as I was expecting, or as I thought it might at one point, and so much better for that.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Quick question: did you guys laugh during the sort of closing scenes?
Yeah,
because I've heard divisive things online with some people, some cinemas roaring in laughter.
It was hilarious. I mean,
I thought it was amusing.
It was hilarious.
So many people were laughing, but I was like,
fast,
why are we laughing at that?
It was an emotional release, wasn't it? You were so tense. You either laughed or you cried during those closing scenes, and it was just that.
I loved more in that film than I
did.
That was quite clever.
More in that film than Fuck 'em All. I know that.
Oh, come on,
come on now, Bob. That is the best spoof there's been in years.
That was so good.
So funny.
Okay, and before we finish our best of the year, and I think we'll probably divide this into 2 separate podcasts, given we're at an hour already, here is what we all voted for personally in terms of our personal films of the year, starting, I think, with Andy. We've talked about many of these already. Hallow Road at number 3, Eternity at number 5, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which made somebody's worst list, I know, on this podcast.
Fair enough. I'm a bit biased when it comes to Bruce, so
Yeah, I'm afraid as a film I didn't particularly rate.
okay. I loved it. I saw it twice and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but you've got pretty good coverage in that, Andy. I have to say, you got 1, 2.
I'm very surprised that Wicked for Good
3,
hasn't
4,
featured.
5. You got 6 of your top 10 in our combined top 10, so that's pretty good. I thought Wicked for Good was pretty poor.
Oh, okay, I loved it. I thought it was darker and better for it.
No, didn't do it for me. Moving on to Emma's. Emma's normally more all over the place with her list, but
I have changed so much this year.
I mean, but you've got 3. Oh no, 4 with Final Destination Bloodlines. 4 of the top 10 in your top 10. I hadn't actually appreciated you put Thunderbolts as number 1, but that's good. And some good films in there. I must admit, I haven't seen William Tell.
Well, so I was just thinking about that. That was actually the first film I saw last year. It was very much one of those films where it was very well done. I don't think I would ever need to see it again, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was really
Can
quite
I just
good.
say, I really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah,
I thought William Tell was great.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll have to put
And
it
it
on
could
my
have
list.
appeared there's going to be a sequel.
William Tell 2, The Apple.
No, we had the apple.
You had the apple.
Can I praise as well, Emma? You putting Last Breath on there, because that's a really good film. And also, as I look out my window now, I'm looking at the sea where that happened. Very
Last
local.
Breath was great. Yes,
It was good. That was a surprising film, actually. It was a very good film.
About that.
Couldn't agree with you on Novocaine, I'm afraid. That did nothing for me.
It was fine.
I mean, that was really a me film in there. I just laughed my arse off the whole way through. Just like, you give me that stupid violence and I am in tears.
Right, let's move on to Scott. Scott, as we say, got Avatar Fire and Ice in there. Again, interesting set of films in here. K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean,
Long guys. I
if any of my grandkids were
someone else to have it in there.
This was almost on constant play during the summer, during our summer holiday this year. Nuremberg, F1, it's a good popcorn film, I agree. So you've got, how many have you got? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 5 out of our combined top 10 on that list. Again, interesting set of films. It's been a good year for films, hasn't it? I know we say that every year, but
yeah, brilliant year.
A lot of diverse and entertaining films. And let's look at Dan's list. Dan's probably got a lower set of films to draw from that he's been able to see during the year. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of our combined top 10 in there. Again, great horror films. Dan is a horror aficionado, so Nosferatu, Sinners, Bring Her Back, Weapons, all on that list.
Documentaries as well. I like that.
Documentary there.
I must say, after he threw that in the chat, saying, "Oh, it's on the BBC, you should watch it," I did watch it. It is a very good documentary.
It is indeed. And Ocean with David Attenborough, I am impressed that that's on his list as well. I think one of the most important films of the year in terms of documentaries was really, really good. If you've not seen that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Bob. It was a stirring film.
Yeah, stirring film, and really it made me write to my MP and the Minister for Fisheries and Food, or whoever he is. So this was my top 10. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 of mine. The ones that are on the list here, which we didn't have, was Begonia, which was just outside of top 10, which I say I really loved. Nickel Boys, which didn't seem to appear on anybody else's list. I think I was the only one who gave that points, but I thought Nickel Boys was a fantastic film. And Blue Moon, I absolutely love. Saw that at London Film Festival, and it only came out this month. But again, very stagey film, but it really, really worked for me. And We Live in Time, because I'm an old romantic at heart. I thought the chemistry between Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield was absolutely fantastic in that film. Love that film. So that's our top 20 for 2025. We will be back with the worst films of the year. I'll do that in a separate podcast, so watch out for that shortly. But we will see you soon. As I said, we are going to be back reviewing our favourite films of the month each month. So watch out for those podcasts. Please subscribe wherever the button is, depending on where you're looking. And we will also obviously be back, because it's awards season, with some special podcasts looking at the Oscars and the BAFTAs and all that stuff. Okay, so we will see you shortly for the worst of the year's 2025. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening or watching Flickering Dreams. You can find the video version on YouTube.